In 1982, Bobby Allison joined Dygard Motorsports and the partnership immediately bore fruit. That year, he won his debut race with them, the Daytona 500. Allison would get his long-awaited Cup Series championship in 1983. In all, in the 3 seasons from 1982 to 1984, Allison would win 14 races and finish no worse than 6th in points. It was expected that 1985 would be a continuation of that success, even with Robin Pemberton replacing Gary Nelson as crew chief.
With 83 of 200 laps complete, the incredible pace of this Daytona 500 is catching up with some of the giants. Richard Petty looks like he's retiring. He's brought the car in, and Bobby Allison is on pit road and back to the garage area as well.
Just a lap ago, Allison slowed down, took his car into the garage area, and you see Richard Petty steering his right into the place that they didn't want to be for at least for the next couple of hours.
Allison right in front of him. Bobby Allison, Richard Petty both retiring just past the 80-lap mark, with number 9, Bill Elliott, continuing to dominate, destroy the competition here today. Mike Joy is standing by with one of the men who thought he had a chance at it today and is now in the garage area.
Well, there are a lot of them here, Ken. It's like Auto Racing's all-star team in the garage. Bobby Allison, what happened to you?
Well, the engine blew up out there. You know, it's just one of them kind of disappointing days. I guess the only thing, Benji said they were all selling beer while we were waiting. I hope it was Miller.
In the garage area, not the way to start what you'd hope would be a championship season. Not too many points you get sitting here.
No, that's true. It's a sad, you know, a sad start on our run, but today is over for us. You know, we have to think toward next week.
A lot of those sad stories here in the garage. Down to Chris Economaki.
Bobby Allison again on pit road. Lux car getting lapped.
They have the hood up on Bobby's car, and anytime the hood goes up on a race car, again, that's bad news. That's a sign of trouble that you can't fix in just a matter of seconds. It takes minutes to do that.
Bobby Allison, number 22, having his share of woe here in the Richmond race today.
There's Bobby Allison making an unscheduled pit stop. And the hood is going up, not a good sign. As Gary Nelson and the engine man, Robert Yates, in the black jacket, take a look underneath.
Bobby Allison is behind pit wall. This is a green flag pit stop, not a routine stop at all. They have got the air cleaner off, but they're working on the ignition system. This moment, the distributor's out of the car. They're preparing to put another one in. It's Gary Nelson, formerly the crew chief, now working to get it in. This is going to be a long, long stop for Bobby Allison. A very disappointing day here at Rockingham. He is the defending champion in this event.
Bobby Allison spins in turn number 2. He was running in second spot, and he has made contact with the wall. So another of the top contenders has a problem here at Bristol. Allison's car has stalled in the infield. Down in the turn 2 area, there is Bobby. The yellow comes out, and another interesting development.
The car's moving again now. I thought maybe he had an engine problem, but the car is moving again. He's got it restarted, and here he comes.
Bobby Allison had led 56 laps of this race, laps 21 through 77. That's when Dale Earnhardt took the lead. And here's a replay, Betty.
He lost something in the right front. I would think that the right front tire went flat or something. He just, oh, Jeff, again, Jeff Bodine just gets by. Again, but the tire is up. Yes, the right front tire is still up.
Well, just one of those things. The car took off toward the wall, and Bobby couldn't save it. Made contact with the wall and spun to the infield.
Possibly there's some oil or something. I think there's got to be something broke in the right front of that car, because well, we'll find out in a moment. There's no speculation.
Bobby Allison has stopped over in the backstretch pits, and his normal pit is here.
That's Phil Parsons right there.
That is Phil Parsons, who dropped out of this race very early, and he's looks like
steering wheel. He's going to get a steering wheel.
Unbelievable. Phil Parsons goes to his car that dropped out of the race early on and is removing the steering wheel, and apparently will take it to Bobby Allison. Whoops, it's still attached.
Oh, he's got the radios in there. Bobby Allison doesn't have a steering wheel.
Well, that certainly explains why he couldn't save the car and keep it from hitting the wall. There is Phil handing the steering wheel through the window to Bobby Allison, and Allison pulls away immediately.
This is amazing.
Well, here comes Allison now. Out of the backstretch pits. He's being held up there while the field comes around, but he will be, I assume.
That's cruel. They holding him up while the field goes by, right? He's only 2 laps down. He doesn't knock the fence down.
Field under yellow here on the main straightaway, and now Bobby Allison gets back out there on the racetrack, but is heading for his own pit area. 134 laps completed. A lot of interesting developments in this race already.
Not only with all the other problems, Bobby Allison, something has broken his windshield. We see on the windshield chrome there, we see where something has hit it and cracked the windshield. I don't know if it got inside the car. Maybe that's one of the reasons that it did get inside and break the steering wheel. But Bobby they have the hood up now, looking under the hood of the automobile, trying to figure out what's wrong, I guess.
Let's go to Jackaroo.
We're here in the pits with Gary Nelson, who's the vice president in charge of things on pit road for the Dygard team. Gary, first of all, let's go back to the caution when Bobby Allison stopped on the backstretch. Can you tell us exactly what happened?
Well, it's the strangest thing. The steering shaft going right up behind the steering wheel broke. It's something we could change real quick. We sent a runner over there with another wheel, but you know, we lost several laps there, and what it did was it bent the ball joint. We lost several more laps changing the right front lower ball joint. We're still optimistic that we can have a good finish. We're going to do our best, and maybe we can still pull it off as crazy as things are happening today.
Well, we checked with Phil Parsons, who came to the assistance of the number 22 Allison crew and provided the extra steering wheel. But then in this last pit stop, Gary, you looked to the outside of the car. What were you checking over there?
Well, after a wreck like that, we ran a few laps, and then another caution came out. We just came in. We didn't need to change tires, but we wanted to be extra sure that the car is safe. We want to make sure none of the fenders were loose or flapping or anything like that that could cause us or somebody else a problem, and I think we're in good shape for that.
And Larry Newber is with another key player here on pit road. Let's go to him.
After 5 races, Allison only had one top 10 finish, a 5th place at Atlanta. He also failed to finish at Daytona and Rockingham, leaving him 14th in the standings.
Bobby Allison in number 22. Allison is in. Remember, this is his own team now, no longer part of Dygard. Greg Sachs is out there with the Dygard car. Bobby doesn't have a great deal to lose. He would have to go to the rear of the field and will, but he was starting in 38th position anyway, so he really won't drop that far behind. He'll just lose 3 positions. I guess better now than in 2 laps time, as long as it's not anything too serious. Dygard has had the winning engine at Daytona and the Firecracker 400 for the last 2 years. A year ago for Richard Petty, and this year, of course, with Greg Sachs, what was called the experimental car. This is a new car for Allison. He has been running Buick for the last couple of years. This is the Chevrolet that he's renting from the Raymond Beetle team that they built to do some comparison testing with. And Bobby rented the car here for this race. Didn't really have a lot of time with it to get it worked out and dialed in the way that he wanted. I talked to him this morning, and he said that they continued to gain on it all along. And you just have to see how it goes here today as to whether they have their problems worked out or not. You see number 22 being brought in. That car was black flag, given a consultation flag for passing the pace car. And it's now on pit road, and there'll be an additional penalty, I'm sure, after this tire change. Yeah, the word that we get is that he'll be held up a lap that he apparently had gained when he passed the caution car, and they say they're going to penalize him. Of course, that one guy's wanting to push, but the NASCAR official standing right in front of him to hold him up until the designated time for him to go. There you see Allison still being held down here on pit road. The word is, Ken, when the cars go by one more time, then he'll be permitted to go.
12 races into the season, and Allison managed to improve his best finish to 3rd at North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, and Riverside, and his ranking to 6th place.
We have a car smoking in turn 4, and that is Richard Petty. And we have a car spinning up against the wall also in turn number 4, headed toward the infield. And I think it might be Clark Dwyer. It is indeed Clark Dwyer. Clark scraped the wall up in turn number 4 and now has brought the car down into the grassy area and will be stopping in front of the main grandstand here on the Tri-Oval. That's Clark Dwyer from Colorado Springs, Colorado, in the Sonny King Ford.
Well, I'm sure he got in Richard Petty's oil, and for Petty, another mark is in what has become a frustrating season. A
apparently engine problems again, and that's something that's happened to him so many times this year. He's used Dan Gurney engines from California. Here comes the leader, Darrell Waltrip, coming in. Waltrip comes in.
And Bobby Allison is in trouble also.
In trouble on the backstretch, and there's Dale Earnhardt
has had
significant collision.
Yeah, our hard contact was something, either the retaining wall or another car, but Waltrip is stalled on the backstretch. The yellow is out. It was out because of the Clark Dwyer incident, and now we have cars in trouble on the backstretch.
And Bobby Hillen. Yeah, it's Waltrip in the pits, Allison down on the inside of turn number 3. Allison, Hillen, and Earnhardt involved in the altercation in the backstretch. Darrell Waltrip has pulled off a pit stop. Neil Bonnet is among the leaders who are in also right now. They come in here on lap number 83. Remember, everybody pitted around lap 50. It looks like Bobby Hillen's day is done.
We are under caution once again because of an incident here on the tri-oval involving Clark Dwyer, and a 3-car incident involving Bobby Allison, Bobby Hillen, and Dale Earnhardt on the backstretch. Let's go down to the pit area.
Well, Bobby Allison had the surprise of his life when he was traveling down the backstretch. I conferred with Wayne Bumgardner, and Wayne said that Bobby said that he was just traveling down there. He got into some oil, and somebody tapped him from behind. They brought the car in one time already, sent it back out. They peeled this away from the inside of the right rear tire. That's the inner liner that's kind of excess sheet metal. They had to get that away from the tire. They're going to have to bring them back in again to do some more cosmetic body work to free those tires up. Let's go down now to Dick Berger, and he's got a further report on some of the other people in the accident.
At the Firecracker 400 at Daytona, Dygard entered a second car for Greg Sachs. It was intended to be a research and development car that would complete a handful of laps to collect data that could be used by the team and not actually compete for the win. However, Sachs turned out to be very fast and competitive, so he was allowed to remain in the race. He would ultimately go on to win the race. Following the race, Allison was displeased that Dygard was focusing attention away from him, and running a second car in competition may have violated Allison's contract, causing him to leave the team and reform his own, Bobby Allison Motorsports, for the remaining 13 races of the season.
Kyle Petty gets out of control coming off of turn number 4, touches the outside wall. Apparently back up to speed. He moves up on the banking in turn 1 and 2. There is the leader, Earnhardt, second place car. Remember, 1 lap down, Richmond. And Richmond now beginning to show that he has aspirations about getting that lap back. We mentioned about Kyle touching the wall coming out of turn number 4. I think we're going to be able to show it to you.
Trouble up in turn 2. Bobby Allison goes around.
Comes down, almost runs into Rusty Wallace. Kyle Petty is sideways on the racetrack. Harry Gant was in the smoke, but nobody was involved. But Bobby Allison makes severe contact with the outside retaining wall. You can see the rear of the race car, and Kyle, who had a breathtaking moment about 2 laps ago, has another one coming out of turn number 2. Bobby Allison, after a strong performance tonight, Bobby, who qualified only 16th fastest, he was the fastest of the drivers who didn't make top 15 the first night. He moved all the way up from deep in the pack to 3rd or 4th tonight, but it ended prematurely.
Yes, we saw the right rear tire turning just a moment ago. Bobby Allison was trying to get going. The frame has been so badly on that car that the right rear tire is off the ground. Bobby Allison is out of the car. He's talking to him. He's talking to him kind of animated.
Now, Benny, what's the call on this? Now, Earnhardt is the leader of this race. Does that mean that because those 3 guys we just talked about are on the lead lap, that they're going to be waved by the pace car, go around to the back of the pack? What's the call?
No. They're simply, they have a half mile to go to make up.
But they do have a chance now. Waltrip, Richmond, and Bonnet out of the pits before Earnhardt. So it looked like just a couple laps ago before this yellow flag for the Bobby Allison Kyle Petty incident that Earnhardt was going to have clear sailing on this, but it's not to be. There's the tail end of this. On the outside is Bobby, on the inside is Kyle.
Yes, Kyle Petty. Bobby Allison does not make contact with anything on the outside, but he backs off the brakes to get out of the way. And Rusty Wallace, and he backs the car in the inside guardrail and really made some serious contact with that inside
High Bank Racetrack. Had that happened at Richmond, he probably would have got away from that unscathed. Here's another angle on what happened, and we pick it up on the end of it. There you see Rusty taking evasive action, and the impact, bang! And you can see that car fold up as Allison hits it at only maybe 40 or 50 miles an hour, but it really takes its toll.
Well, he hit it dead on at 40, 50 miles an hour, and that wall wasn't going anywhere.
Bobby, very simply, what happened?
Well, I don't know, Jackie. I guess y'all were cut off for a Miller commercial there, and you probably didn't see what happened, but Kyle just spun and got into me and spun me and stuck me in the wall. Just one of those things that really was tough. You know, his daddy was way behind, and his daddy got into him and stuck him in the wall. And then I don't know whether he was having a fit of temper or what happened, but he just run down in there and drove it into the side of me and backed into me and spun me into the wall.
Well, Kyle, we were actually in the replay of the first incident with Kyle when you spun with Kyle. But the question I've got is, we saw a picture of you shaking your fist at somebody. Now I've got to assume that it was a young Kyle.
No, I did not.
Okay, that's what they were saying up in the booth.
Well,
it's got to be a tough break because you ran so good, and it really looked like finally Bobby Allison Racing had one that really going to show that you guys could get it together down in Hueytown.
Well, we still got to have a little racing luck. We got all the way to the lead and then had a flat tire. And, you know, the pits are just terrible wet, and they cleaned them up on the front straightaway, but they didn't bother back here. And so, you know, that was a disadvantage, too. We just were trying to work with all the disadvantages.
How about Darlington, though? Things going to be a little better for you down there, Bob?
Well, I hope so. You know, we worked hard. The whole crew, Wayne Bumgardner and Pat Broyles and Bobby Sutton and my two sons, Davey and Clifford, and Reds and Mike, and you know, all the guys that have come with us, Grady. Everybody's worked hard, and we believe the cars have run good, and Ron Neal at Prototype did this engine for me. So, you know, I guess it's just time to have a Miller and go to work tomorrow morning.
Well, we're about ready to have some racing back on the start-finish line. Bobby, thanks. Tough luck tonight.
There's Cale Yarborough's Hardy's Ford Thunderbird. A lot of people felt that this was going to be a season of continuation of the domination that they had on their limited schedule when they ran a Chevrolet. They elected to go to Ford this year, and it's just been a litany of bad luck with problems with that Ford Thunderbird. Another driver that's moved over to Thunderbird power is Bobby Allison. The hood's up on that. That's not a good sign for Allison and his team.
Bobby Allison, one of the top 5 drivers ranked in terms of all-time career wins in Grand National Stock Car Racing, watches as Darrell Waltrip, whom he has raced many times, his teammate Neil Bonnet, continue to rock it around this old racetrack.
Blown engine down the front straightaway. And into the wall goes Bobby Allison. Around goes Ron Bouchard, and Jeff Bodine's car ends up in the infield as well. Allison's car sits stuffed into the guardrail. There's Bodine pulling away. And Bouchard's car, freshly painted at the beginning of the day, looks like it spent about 10 years in taxi service in Detroit.
Bobby's car really is damaged, and we saw Ron Bouchard hit the right rear of Rusty Wallace's car as Rusty went by, and the right rear on Rusty's car is flat. So he was also involved in the accident. And there's somebody's bumper laying on the racetrack.
Back bumper might be from Allison's car. Fortunately, Bobby's okay, and he's with Dick.
Well, Bobby, it looked like a very hard hit.
Well, unfortunately, it was. It's one of those things.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
What caused the accident, Bobby?
I lost the motor coming down the front straightaway, and I slid my own oil.
You could sure use a break, couldn't you?
Sure could. Could use a little sunshine in our lives.
Well, Bobby Allison has been a champion at this track before, and for sure, he will be back to championship form again.
Short end of a tough day for Bobby Allison.
Dale Earnhardt is beginning to come on. Now, here is the guy who has been the kingpin, the #1 player, the #1 chair. And Bobby Allison, by the way, as we were talking, has slowed down. Earnhardt has been the #1 player on short tracks. He has won 4 of 7, and Allison is definitely in trouble, seemingly coming to a stop there on the high side of turn number 2. I think we're looking to yellow here.
Yep, a tough break for Bobby Allison, who started in 8th position. The top 8 qualifiers on Friday are automatically locked into the 8 starting positions, but their exact starting order determined by an average of 2 days of qualifying. Bobby elected not to go for a second run yesterday, so he started in 8th spot, but that car has now come to a rest in turn number 2 against the outside walls.
For the final 13 races of the season, Allison only got 2 top 10s for his own team and retired from 6 races. In 1985, Bobby Allison got a best start of 2nd at Bristol and a best finish of 3rd place 3 times. He also led 422 laps during the season, However, 8 failures to finish caused Allison to only finish 12th in the final point standings, his worst result since 1975, a season that saw Allison only start 19 of 30 races. Hello everybody, I am proud to announce that I have established an official store on Teespring. There, you can find a wide variety of official merchandise related to the Ryan Holman Network, all of which was personally designed by me, Ryan Holman. To find the official Ryan Holman store, please go to teespring.com/stores/the-official-Ryan-Holman-store. Thank you.